Hello, we're gonna do yet another bike tour, and I decided to do one of these here gear videos to show what I bring on my bicycle tours. This is a relatively short bike tour. We're doing 2 weeks through France and Italy, so it'll be relatively short and relatively inhabited, so we have lots of options of resupply and medical care if we need it, kind of thing, so we don't have to pack as much medical stuff. So what you see here are my back panniers and my front panniers laid out. In this first back pannier we have a food bag, which this is not packing for Alaska and Canada, because generally I have my food in one bag if I'm packing for bear country so I can hang my food, but this is no worries about bears on this. So I distributed my food out to make the weight more distributed over the bicycle. So in this bag I have one extra pair of shorts for biking, a pair of long johns, 3 pairs of underwear and 1 extra bra, 2 extra shirts, a hat, and then 2 pairs of cotton short light socks and 1 pair of heavy wool socks. And of course I'd be wearing a pair of bike shorts and a shirt. I just like wearing cotton shirts. That's my preference, because they don't smell as bad as some other ones, as the bike jerseys. This big yellow bag here is Doug's, my husband's down jacket, which I have decided to carry because that bag was not full enough to support this carrier on the back, which we'll get into. The second pannier has a pair of light hiking pants, my wool sweater, my sleeping pad, and my down sleeping bag, which this is a 45-degree bag, and I've found that if I put my down coat over my feet and wear my wool sweater and my hat, that I can get down to freezing without too much trouble, so that works pretty well. This is my toiletry kit as well as first aid kit. Like I said, not terribly big because we're gonna have medical care nearby if we need it. This is what I use for a towel. It's just a cheap handkerchief, well worn in so it soaks up water. Or I use my dirty shirt from the day before. This is my electronics bag, so just power cords to recharge my phone and my headlight, which I carry, and then a lighter. Moving on to my front bags. This is what I call my wet bag. It's like my rain gear, which is likely going to be wet if I use it, and then the tent fly, which we divide the tent into 2 parts. My husband and I, when we bike tour together, and I usually get the fly and the stakes, and he gets the tent and the poles. So I have this grocery bag to put it in because it's usually the wettest thing in my wet bag. I also have, for easy access, tights and gloves. And then my flip-flops get strapped on top because if you put them inside the bag, they make everything stink. It's terrible. Then my seat bag here, I carry a pretty streamlined toolkit because my husband carries the heavier tools. But I like to be self-sufficient in case I need to be. I have a Leatherman, like a multi-tool with a chain brake, and then backlight and headlight in case I get caught in the dark, and then a patch kit and tire irons. And I keep them in a seat bag, which is kind of heavy, but I figure if we set up camp and then go for a ride without our gear, I want my tools with me. As for my last front bag, this bag is almost always food and cook kit. So on this trip I distributed the food into the back pannier, so that's the food that I don't have to get to regularly, so like breakfast and dinner. And this is like my lunch bag, which we'll get into all the time, all throughout the day. So this bag I keep the most easily accessible and it has my sunscreen and my knife, my pocket knife. So that's most of it, and then also the third person that comes with us is Little Bit, my 12-pound wiener dog, and he rides in this bag on the back, which gets strapped to the top of my back panniers, which is why my back panniers have to be completely full to support his weight. So he just sits in here and hangs out and chills. And he's got his dog bowl in here, and poop bags and leash. And my down jacket, he has a blanket in here, which we have actually used to like lay out in the sun on and hang out on. And then my down coat is in here wrapped in a couple of plastic bags to keep it dry for him to lay on because he's spoiled. So I will pack this up and then show you a shot of my bike fully loaded. Alright, so it's morning and the bike is all packed up and we're ready for our tour. We're going to head out here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to show you my bike fully loaded. It looks pretty sleek, and this little guy is Little Bitters. Come here, buddy. This is how he goes in his little carrier up here. He's pretty used to it. He's ridden thousands of miles on the back of this bike, so he's a good boy. But as you can see, it's pretty streamlined except for the giant dog carrier. A few things I didn't go over are I have a belt bag on here to put my camera or iPhone. I'm not taking my camera on this trip because my iPhone takes better pictures. The only downfall is I can't have it in here in the rain, so I'm not going to get any pictures or tunes when it's raining out. Another thing that I didn't cover is these. I've switched to these disposable water bottles, at least one of them, because they're lighter, they hold more water, and they're like 75 cents to replace when they get really grungy and dirty, although I can get like 4 or 5 months of heavy use out of one before I have to replace it, just refilling it. I also have this giant lock, because I've invested heavily in my bike. I have a giant lock. You can probably see weight from that if you wanted to. And then I have a bike pump on the other side over here. So that's it. That's my bike loaded. We're ready to roll. I hope you enjoyed my gear talk.